Welcome to the Eastern Cape for the Port Elizabeth Portnet Harbour Festival, incorporating the fifth leg of the SA Prop Tour National Powerboat Series.
The PE Portnet Harbour Festival has now been running for 3 years, and every year we've just had a huge influx of spectators. Last year we had about 50,000 spectators, and this year they estimated in the regions of 75 spectators that came to the port over 2 days to come and enjoy 3 national sports, that being boxing, basketball and powerboat racing, and a host of other activities, from the music stages. The Navy brought the SAS Otaniqua, and that has been open for people to go and tour, and everything from stalls which has benefited charities. It's been a wonderful community day. It was very family orientated, free admission in Portnet's bid to reach out to the community that they serve.
In the Certina time trials, reigning champion Peter Lindenberg set the pace ahead of championship leader Ian Mather, with leg 2 winner Timmy Featherstone-Haugh in third, just ahead of racing driver George Boucher. But way down the order was Lindenberg's teammate Renier Engelbrecht, who had a difficult qualifying session.
Yeah, we went into the pit turn and Skulk in the Extreme Networks boat cut across us, and we touched and I went over. Well, we got a bit of physical damage on the boat, a couple of holes in the sponson, some water damage on most of the electrical parts, but we're running again and we're going to practice now. This will be the first practice after the crash, so we'll see if there's anything else wrong, but we should be all right for the race.
Points leader Ian Mather was reasonably happy with these results.
Well, the PE race is always a hard race here. There's always a chance of rough winds and strong winds and rough waters, so it makes it a little bit difficult. Yesterday was a bit of a rough day. I had a bit of a problem in one of the corners and got my butt squarely kicked by Peter in time trial, so he's out to prove a point this weekend, so I've got a lot of work ahead of me, and let's see if I can pull it off in the race.
Leading the lights category, Andre van Diemen.
Well, last year I had a big accident down, a bell rolled the top way, so this time I'm just trying to keep it together, and we're going to race next weekend as well, so basically I'm trying to keep this thing together. That's all I'm trying to do today, but also, of course, I mean, we didn't come here to lose, so we're going to try and win it as well.
This is the start of the first heat over 15 laps here in the Port Elizabeth Harbour. Good conditions. It's Peter Lindenberg who grabs the lead from pole position. Just behind him is Ian Mather from Timmy Featherstone-Haugh in third position. Well, not just behind him. Peter Lindenberg pulling out quite a bit of a gap there over the man in second place. He had a very, very good start. Peter Lindenberg in the Portnet colours. Ian Mather in the William Penn Oil's boat, but he needs to get closer to Peter Lindenberg, and very, very quickly, and that is Marius Krause in the Red Devil boat. Unfortunately, seems like he's out of the race already. Well, the steering wheel is out. He's getting out of the cockpit, but in the meantime, Peter Lindenberg is stretching that lead over Ian Mather. Timmy Featherstone-Haugh still in third, but Renier Engelbrecht has moved up into fifth position. He started in 8th because he did not post a time in qualifying. There's the man in second place in the William Penn Oil's boat, Ian Mather. So the running order as it stands at the moment, and Marius Krause is seemingly getting going again there in the background. This is Bertus Loos. He is currently lying in 8th position. This is Tim Featherstone-Haugh for First Technologies and Ryobi. Holding onto the third position, he's pulling away from George Boucher. The yellow flags are out still for the Marius Krause boat, who's going around slowly. Up into 7th place now, Bertus Loos for Marine Hotel Port Elizabeth. He's the oldest Formula 1 powerboat pilot in the world. And the boat is over. That's Paul Reeby has flipped. This is the 4th lap. Paul Reeby has gone over. The red flag is out. The divers are in the water. Oh, drama right at the beginning of this race. No doubt that this race will have to be restarted. Paul Reeby is out of the boat and just out of shot. Even more drama as Marius Krause has crashed into one of the rescue boats. What a beginning to this day's racing here in Port Elizabeth. We'll see if we can pick that one up. There is Marius Krause. Well, he's going very slowly and just out of camera shot. He crashed into one of the rescue boats. Everybody seems to be okay at the moment. He is gesturing wildly. There is Paul Reeby. So he's okay, probably just a little bit shaken after that incident there. And his boat fortunately has enough flotation left so that it does not sink. There is Marius Krause. Damage to his boat. He has taken on some water. That's why he was gesturing wildly for the marshals to get to him as soon as possible. But what happened, Paul?
Well, I'm not too sure. I know it's a race incident. I was coming down the back straight towards the control tower side, and I saw Marius Krause stuck in the water, so I passed him. Next minute out of my left-hand mirror and my right mirror, he was full of it. He was right coming down behind me, so I took the corner. As I took the corner, he was right next to me. And I know that if I carried on going straight the route I was doing, we would have collided. So I hooked the boat in, which caused me to go up on one pontoon, and I flipped the boat. Marius, lucky enough, missed the jetty and all the rest and hit the rescue boat. But apart from that, I reckon it was just a race incident. There's nothing that we can do about it. I am going to be ready for the third heat if everything goes well.
Ahead of Paul, and as we made the turn, I noticed some splash on the left-hand side, some commotion, and I turned to avoid an incident. And I looked ahead of me, and suddenly there was a rescue boat ahead of me in the small bay. And suddenly I had no space in front of me. I had a big brick wall at 100 k's an hour and a rescue boat. And I managed to make it just between the wall and the rescue boat. Unfortunately, we had it coming together. It put me out of the race for the weekend. It's damaged my boat quite considerably. But all in all, you know, that's racing. We really enjoyed so far with PE. And we hope to be our next year again, eh?
So this is the restart of the race. Peter Lindenberg, closest to the camera, gets a flyer. That is an amazing start. I don't know whether that's going to be judged a jump start, but Peter Lindenberg gets into the lead around the first turn, boy. Ian Mather is then in second position. Renier Engelbrecht, watch out for him. He was very fast in those first 4 laps. He is still in 6th position. Tim Featherstone-Haugh is in 3rd, ahead of George Boucher in the Sunday Times boat. This is Renier Engelbrecht, and he's moved up into 3rd position already. He's gone past Tim Featherstone-Haugh. He must have had a fantastic start as well. There's George Boucher in the background. So race order as it stands at the moment, it is Lindenberg from Mather, Engelbrecht in 3rd, Featherstone-Haugh down in 4th, George Boucher is holding down 5th position, and Bertus Luus is in 6th. He's leading the lights category ahead of the lights category points leader, Andre van Diemen. But look at this battle at the sharp end of the field. Ian Mather has closed the gap to Peter Lindenberg. Peter Lindenberg will not have it all his own way in this race if this is anything to go by. Ian Mather is definitely closing in and is poised to take the lead. Ian Mather needs to take points away from Peter Lindenberg. Conversely, Lindenberg also needs to take points away from Ian Mather. There is Bertus Luus for Marine Hotel in Port Elizabeth. Oh, and Andre van Diemen in the Midas boat is out. That is a pity. So Andre van Diemen's race is run as the race leader. Peter Lindenberg goes past, and he has got that foot buried, and he jumps that boat. The conditions are a little bit choppy, but he is going absolutely flat out. He knows that Ian Mather is closing in, or is he? There is Ian Mather in the William Penn Oils boat. And this is the battle for 3rd. It is Renier Engelbrecht in the 2nd Fortnet boat from Timmy Featherstone-Haugh. There is the Sunday Times boat of George Boucher. He's actually better known as a sports car and a saloon car racing driver. There is Timmy Featherstone-Haugh. Well, he must have had some kind of a problem to allow Renier Engelbrecht to get past him that easily. That's the gap between race leader Peter Lindenberg and the man in 2nd place, Ian Mather. They go around to lap Bertus Luus, who's still holding down that 6th position. And Lindenberg is flying. He's on his way to take his first victory of the day, and that will put him in a very good position to get the overall win. They score individual points for their positions on the day, and that adds to their overall result for the day as Renier Engelbrecht is fighting off Tim Featherstone-Haugh. And Featherstone-Haugh is absolutely closing in as well. So we actually have this battle for 3rd, which is the focus of attention at the moment. White flag out. That means only 1 lap to go. What is going to be the outcome of this battle for 3rd position? Renier Engelbrecht had a very, very good race. Bertus Luus still in 6th place, ahead of obviously Andre van Diemen in the results, because van Diemen is out already. There is Ian Mather, and he's not going to be able to close in on Peter Lindenberg. So Lindenberg well on his way to his first victory of the day, and 400 points for the day. Checkered flag out, and Ian Mather crosses the line in 2nd place. But this is the battle for 3rd, and who is it going to be? It's going to be Engelbrecht. Engelbrecht takes it from Featherston Hall, and Lindenberg will be very relieved about the outcome of this race, because he needs to close that point gap between him and Ian Mather. So, René Engelbrecht finishing in third behind Lindenberg and Mather. Featherston Hall in fourth ahead of George Fouché. Very creditable position for him in fifth ahead of Bertus Luce, the only other finisher in this race.
Look, I had a really good start in the first heat, and I could open up a pretty quick gap down that first straight, which helped. Unfortunately, with all that drama with the accident, it was a restart, and I was just lucky. The OD sent me back when I lined up. He said I was too far forward, so I had to go right round the field and come back in. And as I came back in, I saw the boats were lined up, and I anticipated the flag dropping, and it was smack on, and I was gone. So I almost had a flying start in that second heat. And then from then I just kind of thought best just keep my head and just try and maintain the gap till the end. So it was a good race for me, but unfortunately I think a damaging race for a lot of guys. A lot of boats are broken from that accident.
Well, the pilots have some time to repair the damage to their boats, but in the meantime there's lots of activities on and off the water, including basketball, with the Eastern Province men's team taking on an EP development team, and the Eastern Province under-18 boys playing an EP under-18 development team. The Eastern Province men were thoroughly beaten by the development side, while in the under-18s, the development team narrowly lost, proving the success of the development program in the province. On the water, a wave ski race between some of the Eastern Cape's top wave skiers, while in the air, veteran SAA pilot Scully Levine led the Sherlock aerobatic team, thrilling the crowd in their pit specials. In the junior powerboat classes, the competition was as fierce as that in the Formula One category, with all the kids dreaming of stardom one day. The junior category is divided into two classes based on the age of the competitors, and in Class A for ages between 12 and 16, Bruce Needham won 2 out of 3 to take the overall win, with Sershin Nambiar winning the other. In Class B for kids between 8 and 11, Jean-Pierre de Witt dominated by winning all 3 heats and taking the lead in the championship, ahead of Gavin Needham and Laura Johnson.
Today and yesterday, Gavin chased hard, but fortunately a bit too quick, but anything can happen.
P's been a wonderful race for me. Everything's just gone right. I've come 2 first and a second. I can't ask for anything better.
That's the start of the second heat, also over 15 laps. And are we going to see as much drama as we saw in the first heat? Well, they're all quite cleanly away. It's Peter Lindenberg on the inside from pole position. They start in the order in which they finished. So Ian Mather has slotted into second position. Oh, and you can see that the conditions have changed considerably. This is Tim Featherston Ha. He's already moved past René Engelbrecht. So is this going to be a repeat of the battle that we saw in the previous race? In fifth place behind those two, George Fouché. Then comes Bertus Luce, and making his first appearance of the day, Schalk van Tonner. Watch out for him in seventh place in the Extreme Networks boat ahead of Andre van Diemen. But this is the battle at the front. What a fight back this is from Ian Mather. He was thoroughly beaten in the first race, and Tim Featherston Ha has also now closed in on the 2 race leaders. Peter Lindenberg now being put under pressure by Ian Mather, and he bounces that Portnet boat over the choppy waters here in the Port Elizabeth Harbour. Conditions have deteriorated since the previous race. That is the man in 7th position, Schalk van Tonner, in the Extreme Networks boat. He is one better than his last event when he finished in 8th position overall, so he will be happy with that. He did not make an appearance in the first race, but all eyes on this battle for the lead. Peter Lindenberg hogging the inside line. That's the only way to defend. He's got to force his opposition to go around the outside, which he does. Ian Mather in the William Penn Oils boat is challenging for the lead. Well, if he can get past Peter Lindenberg, and they finish in first and second position at the end of this race as we watch Andre van Diemen in the Midas colours. He is still struggling, it seems. If Ian Mather can finish this race in first position ahead of Peter Lindenberg, I was saying, then they will be on equal points and they will have everything to race for in the third and final heat on the day. So two two-way battles in this race. Peter Lindenberg there pulling away slightly as they lap Schalk van Tonner. He seems to have the legs on the straights of the circuit. There is the second Portnet boat of Renier Engelbrecht. And he is in 4th place. This is Kalk van Tonder, of course. And there is the Sunday Times boat of George Bashir, still in 5th place, like he was where he started. And Lindenberg is still holding on to that first position. He is a very hard man to pass, as Ian Mather very well knows. Mather won the first round at Saldanha at the beginning of this season. That was in the year 2000. And he is looking for his second overall race victory to try and stretch that points lead that he has over Peter Lindenberg. Lindenberg, multiple former Formula 1 champion in South Africa. And he has been around the block a few times. He knows he's under pressure, but he's not going to give in to that. Mather tries all kinds of different lines to try and get the slingshot effect as he lines up almost right next to Peter Lindenberg. Lindenberg is in the most advantageous position as they go around the left-hander. Mather goes very wide. He's got to try and come around that left-hander as quickly as possible as they go past Andre van Diemen again. And the big crowd here in the harbour of Port Elizabeth treated to some great spectacle. That is Tim Featherston-Hoare in the First Technology and Ryhobi colours. And he is pulling well clear now from that man, Renier Engelbrecht, who's seemingly struggling a little bit. He's coming up to Lap Batters Loose, who's still leading the lights category and lying in 6th place overall. We're coming towards the final stages of this race, but this battle for the lead is far from over. No breathing space for Peter Lindenberg. No chance to make any mistake and get away with it, because Ian Mather will be right there. Mather's pulled right next to him. Is he going to take over the lead? Well, he's not on the inside line, so he'll have to take the long way around the left-hander. But if he can stay next to Peter Lindenberg here, he will have the inside line for the right-hander. And still you can see how Lindenberg flies that boat and jumps over the crests of these little waves in the Port Elizabeth Harbour. And Lindenberg maintains that position as he gets the better drive out of the corner. Mather, however, is not giving up at all. He does not have a lot of time left in this race. And it seems like this is the part of the circuit where he's losing out. He's trying to get some clean water, and he's going to go very deep into that left-hander, and that is a way of closing in on the race leader. Tim Featherston-Hoare still holding down that 3rd position ahead of Renier Engelbrecht. George Bashir is still in 5th. But this is the man of the moment. It is Peter Lindenberg, who is holding on to the lead and will get the checkered flag and take his second victory on the day ahead of Ian Mather. And that will put him in a good position to take the overall win, provided nothing goes wrong for him in the 3rd and final heat. There are your results, and 8 finishers in the race this time.
Oh, look, the second heat was hard. The water's a lot worse than what we had in the first heat. Not as bad as I was expecting. I thought by now the wind would have really been pumping, so that's been a good thing. But it has roughened up quite a lot, and the boats are bouncing around, and it's a lot more difficult to drive.
The boxing activities drew a lot of attention, with no less than 7 current national amateur champions in various weight divisions in action. One of the stars of the show was 18-year-old Koya Matau from Gauteng, South African middleweight champion, who's been groomed for the 2004 Olympics and who had his opponent retire in the 2nd round. While in the flyweight division, Elijah Makila of Western Province caused an upset by beating the current champion Luwuyu Musutu. Some more junior action on the water as the Formula 1 teams got their boats ready for the start of the 3rd and final heat of the day. That's the Formula 3 boat that most juniors will upgrade to one day. But while lots of spectators enjoyed the show on the water, others made their way to the music stage, where a whole range of the musicians strutted their stuff. An important part of Formula 1 powerboating in South Africa is the Portnet Development Program, which has been going for 6 years now, with 10 youngsters from the local community taking part in their own race in the brand new 2-seater watermouse boats.
You get practice rounds and things, and then you go for like a 2-week course where they teach you the skills of riding a boat.
It goes very fast. I was very excited at first. I'm trying my hardest. I'm trying my best not to take my corners too wide.
Oh, it's quite nice. It's basically almost the same as go-karts, but it's on water and there's no brakes.
The youngsters all come from previously disadvantaged communities in the Eastern Cape and were divided into 2 groups in the interest of safety. The Watermouse boats are powered by 15 horsepower Mercury engines and are proven to be extremely safe, even though it can be pretty tricky to race these monohulls capable of speeds of up to 40 kilometers an hour on the choppy waters of a harbour such as Port Elizabeth. The idea is that the best development drivers go through to the junior classes and from there progress to the senior categories. 12-year-old Zane Goosen from West End Primary won Group A and 16-year-old Luando Peter from Victoria Park, Group B.
I must say I'm most impressed with the new development boat compared to the one that we've used in the past. The beauty of the boat is the pilots, before they go on the water for the first time, we put an experienced pilot into the boat with them. He goes out, he shows them the ropes. If anything dangerous happens, any dangerous situation, the pilot can pull the kill switch immediately. So safety-wise, it's been an absolute bonus. It's made my job a lot easier, and I must absolutely thank Peter Lindenberg for his involvement with this lot, getting the show on the water. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Well, as the Formula One teams launched their boats for the start of the third heat, conditions had become very tricky as the wind had reached gale force proportions. So unfortunately, the decision had to be taken to cancel the final heat of the day. So Peter Lindenberg took the overall victory, the second of the season, ahead of Ian Mather to close the championship gap, ahead of Tim Featherstone-Hoare and Renier Engelbrecht, with George Fouché coming in with a very good fifth in only his fourth ever powerboat race. Lindenberg will be very pleased with that result, as it now brings him to within 4 points of the top man. But Ian Mather is sure to fight as hard as he can to remain just there. Engelbrecht loses 2 points to Featherstone-Hoare, so that fight for third is also far from over, and the battle lines are drawn for the next leg during the Durban International at the end of April.